Hi everyone, Chris Natzke here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week live on Facebook. Now I don't know about you, but in this time of being sitting at home for the last 4 to 6 weeks, it's given me some time to really reflect on where I've been in my life, where I'm going in my life, etc. And what I realized was something very, very powerful for me is that when I've enjoyed life at the highest level and when I've really been at my best, it's when I've been in a state of learning and expansion, of being a student, if you will. And it made me think about an experience that I had almost a year ago to this day. I was asked to be a keynote speaker at a business event down in Dallas. And this was, I think it was about 350 to 500 people that came down. These are business owners from all over the United States. And I was honored, I was asked to be one of the keynote speakers as well as do my board breaking experience there. And I always love going to conferences like this. I used to go to conferences like this in the martial art business world, and I always loved going because I love the camaraderie and the energy. And what was always great was to observe people who were new to the business, because they were just like sponges. They were like trying to, take in all this great information and take it back to build their businesses. But what's been interesting is over the course of the years, what I've also began to notice is how the people who are really at the top of their game act and how they approach those types of learning experiences. In fact, what I found is the people that are at the top of their game, even though they could probably teach what's being said on stage, they are the most attentive. And it made me think about this particular conference that I was at. I was seated about 2 chairs down from this gentleman who happened to be a mentor of the organization. In fact, he had been a very successful real estate entrepreneur that had generated over tens of millions of dollars in his career, and now he was the mentor to this entire association, and he could have been teaching what was what most of the people were saying on stage. But I observed him when he was listening to people speak. And number one, he was fully attentive in terms of what was going on. When people would say things he agreed with, you could hear him so, that's it. And he was taking copious notes during the entire time. And I thought, wow, that's pretty amazing. And when it came together is when one of the speakers came up and shared this concept that said, you're never too old to learn and you're never too young to teach. Let me say that again. You're never too old to learn and you're never too young to teach. And I thought, wow, he is really exemplifying this. So, during this time where I've been just contemplating about, where things are at in my life and what I want to be doing and creating after this whole process ends for us with the COVID-19 is I thought, how can I be a better student? What are the things that I can do? What are the ways of being that I can bring to situations to really be a better student in my everyday life and my business? So I've got 3 things that I'm going to focus on, I want to share with you, I think can really help all of us. And the first thing, number 1, is to be present. Now, I know you've probably heard me say that several times, but think of it, we live in a society where we have distractions happening all around us. In fact, I was just thinking about that conference that I was at, how I would almost instinctively, during speakers that really had me engaged, I would actually reach for my phone to take a look at it just out of habit, almost like Pavlov's dog, salivating when he hears a bell. And so think about how we can really up-level our presence when we're in a situation, whether it's in a large group where you're learning something or maybe even a one-on-one. I recently read a study that said that just by virtue of having a cell phone on the table in front of you when you have a one-on-one meeting, it dramatically decreases your ability to maintain attention and presence, even if you never look at the phone, if it's just sitting on the table. So my question for you is, how can you up-level your presence? Number two is to be curious. Be curious. I think that any of us who have really seen success in life, it's because we have just an innate level of curiosity. We like to know how things work. We like to know how we can grow and expand. And more importantly, when we're working with people, we want to know about them. Not just what they do, but who they are. What's important to them? Who are their, who's in their family? Who's their spouse? Who are their kids? What really is their driving why for what they do? When we get curious, we are things around us begin to open up, and we might even see things that we looked at, for years right in front of us in a totally different way. And then number three is to be enthusiastic. I mean, think about the times in your life when you brought a level of enthusiasm to a place where you might be learning or having a new experience relative to when you said, been through this a million times, and you didn't come with that level of enthusiasm. The root of the word enthusiasm is entheos, which is God inside of us, right? So when we bring that level of enthusiasm to any situation, again, it opens up this whole spectrum of us being able to see things that maybe we never saw before, and brings our learning to a whole new level. So that's my thoughts for you today, friends, and it's something that I'm going to really be working on in the days and the weeks ahead, is how can I become a better student? And I'm going to do that first and foremost by making sure that I'm being present, and then being curious, and then finally being enthusiastic. So I hope this helped you today as you're moving forward, and to remember that you're never too old to learn, you're never too young to teach, and I hope that you can take this forward to grow not only your life, but your business moving forward during these unusual and challenging times. So, this has been Chris Natzke with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching. As always, I appreciate you sharing and commenting, liking, loving these, and we will see you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.